We're inside of the Dome for the start of the NCCAA Mideast Regional Final. The Bluefield College Rams play host to the Alice Lloyd College Eagles here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Hello, everybody. Bailey Engel here. Glad to have you with us as the Rams try to bounce back from a loss in the AAC tournament, while the Eagles are coming off of a big win against the Hiwassee College Tigers last night, able to hold them out 91-88 after being down by as much as 19 in the first half, while the Rams got to see that game last night and have to kick up some sort of defensive pressure in this one. If the Rams are going to try to have to win today, they have to isolate those young players for Alice Lloyd College. Blake Smith, the sophomore from Manchester, Kentucky, as well as the freshman guard from Louisa, Kentucky, Timmy Dalton. For the Rams, though, they have to get that offensive firepower going like we saw right there at the middle of February, at the end of January, from Sean Robinson, as well as the backup point guard in this one, Jeremiah Jenkins. Robinson has been nonstop working in the gym for about 6 months now. Even when his other players are at home, Robinson is here on the hard court trying to get his shots to fall, as the junior from Wendell, North Carolina, is trying to get a big win for Bluefield today. Jorge Concepcion, his father, in the arena today, trying for a huge win for the Rams. Stan Nelms, another senior for Bluefield, also getting the start, as well as the big man, Donnell Gooch, the junior from Wendell, North Carolina. We said Sean Robinson was from Wendell, North Carolina. He's actually from Wilmington. But for Donnell Gooch, the big five, trying to snatch some boards away, as you see Alice Lloyd coming out onto the floor now. That senior point guard, Austin Crisp, was very tough for Hiwassee to really handle yesterday, joined by Dondre Warren, Timmy Dalton, Chance Cornett, and Blake Smith. Going to be a fun one here. Rams wearing the white Alice Lloyd and the solid blue jerseys with the white letters and those white stripes down the side. Good little crowd starting to fall in here at the Dome at Bluefield, Virginia. Rams coming into this game at 17-12. That last loss in the semifinal against Truett McConnell was the Bears' second win over the Rams this year. And then last night, Alice Lloyd able to improve to 16-12 on the season. These teams haven't played each other in the past 3 years. Alice Lloyd, an NAIA side as well, coming out of the River States Conference with teams like West Virginia Tech. A little bit of a size mismatch for the tip-off. Donnell Gooch and Blake Smith in the middle of that Rams logo, ready for the ball to be thrown up in the air. Tossed up, tipped into the hands of Austin Crisp, and we are underway with Alice Lloyd's possession. Pass on the right side, Chance Cornett, a guy to watch out for in the low post. This is right wing Timmy Dalton, who was really kind of quiet yesterday in that win against Hiwassee College. Kicks top of the key, Cornett looking for someone to pass it to, trying to hand it off, and Smith had to cut back near the right wing. 9 to shoot now. Dondre Warren hands off Chris, top of the key, attacks in the paint, swings out Cornett, pops it down to Chris, right block layup, no good as it rolled around the rim, but Chris got it on the offensive board, right back for the Eagles. Smith lets it fly from the right wing and bangs it home for the opening tray. Good job of following the shot there from Austin Crisp, the senior coming from Flemingsburg, Kentucky. Makes it 3-0. Tyquan Reed getting the start for the Rams today. He could be the X factor. He said that coming to Bluefield might have been his best decision ever. Sean Robinson attacking the rim, misses the layup, but Donnell Gooch right there to tip it back in with two hands. Makes it 3-2, a minute elapsed here in the first half. Chance Cornett, you look at Alice Lloyd, a team that scores 95 points per game, but they do allow 92. Entry pass over to Warren, swings out left corner. Smith for three. Off of the backboard, no good. Loose ball corralled by Concepcion. Racing towards the basket. Euro step, layup clunks in. What speed from Jorge Concepcion, the junior from Chesapeake, Virginia, makes it 4-3. Pass down low, kicked out of bounds off of the foot of Donnell Gooch. Timmy Dalton was trying to slam it into the right block, and Gooch got a foot on it. So it stops the clock at 18:32. Rams lead 4-3. Now an inbounds pass coming up from Austin Crisp. Sean Robinson pressuring that inbounds. Robinson getting the start instead of Jeremiah Jenkins at the point guard position today, after Jenkins only scored 3 points in that loss to Truett McConnell. 15 on the shot clock. Dish on the right side. Timmy Dalton, the freshman, meanders his way towards the top of the key. Off a Cornett screen. Cuts it back on the right side. Passes corner. Blake Smith. Good defense by Tyquan Reed. Feed left wing. Cornett for three. Good. 6-3 Eagles, or rather 6-4 the score. Eagles lead by 2. Alice Lloyd, a team that will just dart that ball around the entire perimeter. They like to get the speed going to make sure that their offense can score nearly the century mark every game. High dribbles for Taekwon Reed. Entry pass, Donnell Gooch. He falls to the floor as the pass is stolen by Cornett. Dish on the left side. Austin Crisp pump fake and fouled on the shot by Stan Nelms. Well, Stan Nelms definitely playing in his last ever game here at the Dome, and Richard Morgan in his 9th season at the helm of Bluefield College, chanting on from the sidelines. So it'll be a couple of shots for Austin Crisp. His first, nothing but net. Now makes it 7-4. 17:48 on the clock. You're going to see a very fast game, at least in the first half, before these teams get a little bit fatigued. Crisp follows through, right hand, nothing but net. 8-4, a two-possession lead for Alice Lloyd. Sean Robinson's trying to find his first points of the contest. Gallops across the timeline, chest pass left wing Reed. Turns top of the key, Robinson, who dishes on the right side over to Jorge Concepcion the third. Overheads Robinson, off a screen on the right wing. Pops from three land, back iron no good. Nelms tipped it into the hands of Timmy Dalton, and Alice Lloyd has it back. On a hard pass in the corner, Blake Smith shimmies it back over to Timmy Dalton. Euro step in the lane, underhands Warren, and gets the layup to fall with the foul. That was a great job by Timmy Dalton, just attacking in the paint, saw that Dondre Warren was wide open on the left block, and then draped over his back. That time was seemingly, or it was Taekwon Reed. That's the second foul on Bluefield. Dondre Warren fires and misses the free throw, so he can't execute the old-fashioned three-point play, but they lead by 6 now, 10-4. Well, it seems that Alice Lloyd has started a game in the Dome like Bluefield usually does, and then the Rams just kind of fall off in the second half. Hard pass, Concepcion pops from the elbow, blocked by Dondre Warren. Loose ball picked up by Timmy Dalton for Alice Lloyd. Baseball pass in the left block off the hands of Warren, and it goes out of bounds for the first turnover of the game for Alice Lloyd. Alice Lloyd headed by J.R. Hammond, an NAIA school coming from Pippa Passes, Kentucky. 10-4 the score. Thank you. Tuning in here on the Rams Digital Sports Network, our final basketball broadcast of the season as Robinson meanders out of a double team, chest pass far corner, Concepcion toes baseline, jumps and scores. He found the lane, and Concepcion, recognizing that he had an open path to the basket and able to get it off of the glass. 10-6 the score. Rams down by 4 now. Cornett carries the ball down the near sideline, hard dribbles, right block, jumps, and offensive foul. Donnell Gooch fell on his back, who sold that charge well. That'll be the first foul of the game on Alice Lloyd, and the first one for Chance Cornett. Comes into this game as a sophomore from the exact same town that Alice Lloyd is located in Pippa Passes. So Sean Robinson trying to get this offense to go as Concepcion slips in the right wing, picks up the loose ends, and backs up in the far corner. Rams down by 4, 16-10 remaining in the first half. Crossover dribble over for Robinson. One-arm pass, Taekwon Reed in the right wing. 10 to shoot for Reed. Goes back towards the right wing now. From the free throw line, he fires. Nothing but net. 10-8 on the 16-footer from Taekwon Reed. Now the Rams kicking up a midcourt press. Smith able to get out of it, jumps a pass into Chance Cornett. Feeds in the corner. Timmy Dalton loops a three. Air ball, but picked up by Austin Crisp. Toes baseline, punched out of bounds, and the ball will stay with Austin Crisp and the Alice Lloyd Eagles. 10-8 the score. Rams have cut it down to a one-possession game. And after beating Bryan, the Rams certainly had a good feel of that AAC tournament, but then Truett McConnell led by as much as 22 in that first half. Three-ball miss, but Chance Cornett on the offensive board sticks the putback off of the window. Blake Smith fired from the left wing, wasn't close. It looped into the hands of the forward Cornett, who makes it now 12-8. Rams have not subbed anybody out yet. 15-20 left to go as Taekwon Reed misses a three from the right wing. Rebound picked up by Alice Lloyd and Austin Crisp. Goes into left wing, underhands Cornett. Pump fake, feeds back to Crisp. Toes it back out on the right wing for Timmy Dalton. Ball over his head. His team leads by 4. Dalton drives in, swings left wing. Cornett for 3. Too short. Rebound Concepcion for Bluefield. 12-8, 15 minutes flat. Robinson feeds Nelms, pops a mid-range. No good from the right corner. Loose ball corralled by Austin Crisp. Not great basketball being played. Timmy Dalton going down the lane and fouled as he was trying to scoop up a layup. That ball went straight in the air, and that is the second foul on Stan Nelms already, and a team's third foul with 14:51 remaining. So Timmy Dalton enters this tournament rather, averaging 18.7 points per game. Lets it fly and misses that first free throw. Now substitutions, Simon Kristen comes in as well as Jake Allen, adding a little bit more size for Alice Lloyd. Jeremiah Jenkins enters the game with David Tripp for Bluefield. Nelms and Robinson going to the bench for the Rams. A 4-point lead for Alice Lloyd. Follows through right hand, and Timmy Dalton hits the second shot to make it 13-8. 5-point lead for the Eagles. Now that full court press starting to materialize for Alice Lloyd with Simon Kristen into the game. Jake Allen, another player to watch out for down low, but David Tripp is one of the more dynamic players for the Rams, especially when he's out there with Taekwon Reed. But Jeremiah Jenkins had that streak where he scored over 20 points a game for 5 games. Concepcion feeds right wing, 8 to shoot. Jenkins now with it. Left wing, cross-court lob, Concepcion on the right side. Concepcion on a pump fake, feeds Reed, top of the key, fires a tray. Air ball and a shot clock violation. Not a great offensive possession for Bluefield at all. Taekwon Reed had the open look and then just seemingly jumped when he was falling down. And it gives the ball back to the Eagles. 13-8 the score, 14-15 left to go before halftime. Austin Crisp walking that ball over near the Bluefield bench in those neon red shoes. On the left wing, Kristen feeds to Dalton on the right wing and kicks in the corner for Blake Smith. Pump fake returns Dalton top of the key. Cross-court lob, Crisp in the left wing. One arms it back to Dalton. Pump fake, step back, now passes to Crisp in the left wing. 3 to shoot, up in the air, has to fire a 3. Kristen misses from the left wing. Rebound corralled in the corner by David Tripp. So 2 straight possessions for both teams where they had to use up the entire shot clock. 13:40 to go. Jenkins lets it fly and swishes from the top of the arc for the 3 ball. Makes it 13-11. Rams within 2. Crisp in transition. Fires a long 2. Misses. Bounces. And Jake Allen hacked David Tripp on the rebounding effort. So it'll give the ball right back to Bluefield. And they have a chance to tie or take the lead here. Timeout called by J.R. Hammond. We got a great ball game here. 13:29 left to go in the first half. And the Rams trail by 2 here in the NCCAA Mid-East Regional Final. (13-11) Rams lead, or rather they're trail by 2 here. Alice Lloyd led by as much as 6, but the Rams have cut it down to a 1-possession game. Jeremiah Jenkins walks the ball across the timeline as the Rams go right to left, handoff right wing, Naquan Cousins into the game, playing in the Dome for the first time in nearly 2 months after a meniscus tear. Jenkins with a crossover dribble at the top of the key, 10 to shoot, attacks on the right side, passes Gooch, left elbow shot, rattles around, miss, and a rebound for Alice Lloyd's Kristen. Timmy Dalton will take the ball up going left to right for the Eagles, almost lost the ball at the top of the key, and on a crossover dribble, he'll back it up and slow this offense down. Alice Lloyd likes to attack the hoop fast, but Bluefield's defense has to be the key to the game for slowing down the Eagles. Smith feeds Dalton, 13 to shoot. Bounce pass right block, Allen out of a double team, starts to bounce in the lane, spins looking for a shot, loops it up, no good, tipped out of bounds off of the thigh of Donnell Gooch, and it will stay with Alice Lloyd. David Tripp did a good job there of keeping his arms up and making sure Allen didn't have an open look. Now an inbounds pass with 4 to shoot. Crisp feeds far corner, Dalton for 3, good! 16-11. Dalton was open on that far left corner, and now going into the front court, Jeremiah Jenkins was hacked and almost stolen away by Timmy Dalton. Now that will be a foul as Dalton tried to wrestle that ball away. It will be a foul on the freshman. It was a good trap there, and rather they're going to put that on the senior, Austin Crisp. We've got a hand on Jeremiah Jenkins. 16-11 the score. Chest pass left wing, Naquan Cousins. Have to see if he can elevate towards the rim in this one, even with that knee injury. David Tripp attacks left side, drives on the left wing for Taekwon Reed. Feeds down low. Donnell Gooch, hook shot falls for the big man. 6-9 in all, and makes it 16-13. Here comes Alice Lloyd. Dalton with a hard spin, scoops with a right hand, misses. Offensive board, Allen, putback can't go, and David Tripp has it for the Rams. 3-on-1 goes Bluefield. Reed feeds right side, Nyquan Cousins. Fouled on the layup attempted. He was trying to slam that one home. Instead, it's a piece of the Alice Lloyd defender, and he will go to the line for 2 shots. That's the first foul on Timmy Dalton. Now Bluefield down by just 3, but Nyquan Cousins, one of the guys coming from Vance Granville Community College with Tyquan Reed. That first shot goes for Nyquan Cousins. And the Rams were definitely a different team without Nyquan Cousins as he makes it 16-14. Had that long losing streak right there to end the AAC season. And now he came back into the tournament. They got a win against Bryan, then lost to Truett again. Second shot for Cousins. Bangs around and falls through the nylon to make it a 1-point game. 16-15 the score. David Tripp pressuring the inbounds as now that full court pressure starts to glide back into the front court. Dondre Warren, an athletic player for the Eagles, faltering as he loops into the right block for Jake Allen. Bounce pass in the paint. Blake Smith, ugly layup, wrestled down by Dondre Warren, and then David Tripp forces a tie-up that gives the ball right back to Bluefield. Gage Jesbeck also into the game for the Rams as they trail by 1. It is 16-15. Rams going right to left in front of some fans starting to pile up in the red bleachers at the Dome Gymnasium. Will Bluefield try to punch a ticket to Indiana? And Richard Morgan, if you talk to him and both the assistant coach Ryan Moody, they are very confident in their abilities to do so. Jenkins corrals the pass on the right wing with a crossover dribble matched up with Noah Young. Nyquan Cousins drives down the right side of the paint, shoots, and fouled as that ball just bounces off of the backboard and rolls away on the missed shot. So Nyquan Cousins will go back to the line for the Rams. And for Nyquan Cousins, one of the more athletic players that have ever came to Bluefield in these past couple of years. His free throw percentage just at 60%. Now it's at 100 in this game. 3 for 3 as he hits that first shot to make it 16-16. 11:23 to go before halftime. Austin Crisp checks back in for Blake Smith, senior replacing the sophomore. And Nyquan Cousins wearing number 1, that tall frame, eyeing the 10, fires. Now he's 4 of 4 from the stripe. 17-16 Rams lead. Another whistle blows as substitutions are being made. Tyquan Reed taken out, Jorge Concepcion back in. Concepcion scored those first 4 points of the game for Bluefield. Dondre Warren has to go down the baseline, swings it into Crisp, who feeds it right back to Warren. Bounce pass far corner, Kristen towing baseline, now picks up his dribble. Looking for someone to pass it to, darts towards the top of the key, loose ball, corralled by Jeremiah Jenkins on a steal, jumps and finishes the fast break layup to give Bluefield a 19-16 lead. Noah Young taking the ball across the timeline, and now the game will be stopped again for a shot clock misfire here. They're trying to restart it. 19-16 when Alice Lloyd got the ball back. The shot clock was down to 23. Now it's at 27. 11 minutes flat before halftime. Chest pass right wing for Noah Young, another young player, as he goes towards the free throw line. Loops right block, Jake Allen. Matched up with Jesbeck. A couple of spins, fires a fadeaway, and before that he walked. And Jesbeck, the senior, like Stan Elms playing in his last game here at the Dome, makes Jake Allen force a turnover. So just like that, Jake Allen snatched out of the game by his coach, and then Chance Cornett re-enters for Alice Lloyd. Bluefield leads 19-16, their largest lead of the game, as we are almost halfway through the first half here. 10:45 left to go in the NCCAA Mid-East Regional Final. Concepcion matched up with his own defense off a screen, veers right, goes inside the paint, swings out left wing, Nyquan Cousins. Attacks in the paint again on the right side, pumps back out top of the key. Jenkins launches a tray, nothing but net for the freshman. The paint touch, and then Nyquan Cousins will be credited with that assist, but Jenkins hit that one from pro length. Warren bumping in the lane, somehow muscles that layup to go, who gets it to fall. 22-18 now the score, and that full court press not really being kicked in yet by Alice Lloyd. That's a big part of the reason why they got the lead back against Owasso yesterday. Jenkins goes inside, free throw line, jumper, yes. 24-18, Jeremiah Jenkins starting to heat up. Austin Crisp on a crossover dribble, chest pass left wing to Noah Young, and now Bluefield's zone defense is stepping up big time. Crisp, chest pass on the corner for Dondre Warren, has the ball overhead. Needs someone to hand it off to. Toes baseline on the right side. Reverse layup, nowhere close. Didn't even get the rim, and Naquan Cousins pulled it down. Here comes Jeremiah Jenkins on the attack, underhand spar corner, and tipped out of bounds on the defense by Austin Crisp for Alice Lloyd. So the Rams will have an inbounds pass on the far sideline, 24-18. 6-point lead for Bluefield here in this Mid-East Regional Final with a chance to play up in Grace College in Indiana. Naquan Cousins fires on the top of the key for Jeremiah Jenkins. Off a screen, veers right, fires from the free throw line again. And from the elbow, Jeremiah Jenkins has powered Bluefield out to an 8-point lead. That's 7 straight points scored for Bluefield from the freshman. Onto the right wing goes to Austin Crisp. Alice Lloyd needs a chance to answer. Spinning in the lane, Kristen chucks it up and nails that 5-foot jumper. Oh, the hook shot fell, and now Bluefield still leads by 2 possessions. 26-20 now the score. Both teams finding their offensive rhythm, but the Rams doing it just a little bit more. Out of a double team, feeds Jesbeck in the right block, trucks his way in the lane, and a foul is called before he could get that shot up. It will be called on Chance Cordette, who went back trying to draw a charge. Buzzer will sound, and now Stan Elms comes back into the game for the Rams, replacing his friend Gage Jesbeck. We've already had senior night when the Rams lost to Montreat, but this will be the finale for both Stan Nelms and Gage Jesbeck in their home floor. Nelms has it on the far corner on a stutter step, goes in the paint, bounces right elbow. Naquan Cousins out of hard defense, returns Nelms in the right block, who just couldn't keep that ball up and clumsily dribbled it out of bounds on the turnover. 26-20, 8:50 before halftime here in the Dome. Both teams looking for a way to win a National Christian College Athletic Association championship. Bounce pass on the far corner. Rams have never done it before. Alice Lloyd powers in the lane, feeds back out to Cornett, who swishes from 3 land. That was a good underhanded pass from Dondre Warren, and now we're back to a 1-possession game, 26-23. 8:20 left to go before halftime. Stan Nelms with a chest pass on the right side, pops it back over to Cousins, pivots now. He goes around in the right wing, spins in the lane, fires from 4, nothing but net again. Naquan Cousins, an X-factor for Bluefield for sure, now 28-23. Austin Crisp lost the ball in the lane. Bluefield now trying to move fast in transition. Concepcion back again. And now a technical foul called in transition on the senior Austin Crisp. So Bluefield will have 2 shots. Austin Crisp must have tugged on one of Bluefield's players moving in transition. The Rams were trying to likely alley-oop and maybe finish with the big dunk there, but now that play stopped dead, and Jeremiah Jenkins will have 2 shots. His first, swish. 29-23 now, but Jeremiah Jenkins definitely the guy you want at the line if you're Bluefield, especially in these technical foul situations. He's an 88% free throw shooter. Now he's a perfect 2 for 2 today as the Rams have jumped out to a 7-point lead again after Alice Lloyd cut it down to 26-23. Now an inbounds pass for Bluefield. Reed just lobs it into the backcourt for Jeremiah Jenkins. Rams going to slow it down a little bit, making Alice Lloyd play at their pace, whereas the Eagles, when they find success this year, it's usually because they dictate the pace and the speed of this one. David Tripp, toes baseline, spins towards the basket, loops, misses. Nelms can't get the putback. Loose ball, corralled by Kristen. Alice Lloyd on a fast break. Smith on the left wing goes towards the basket and carries for the layup. 30-25, a 5-point lead for Bluefield as Jenkins is pressured by Austin Crisp in the man-to-man. Has to cut it over near that logo. Has it in the right wing. Loose ball, kicked out of bounds. It will stay with Bluefield, though. Jeremiah Jenkins had it, and he's not that tall, so he's dribbling it near his chest and just punched the ball out of bounds. But Austin Crisp got a foot on it. So Tyquan Reed will inbound again. Sean Robinson in the game for Jeremiah Jenkins, who needs a breather. 7:23 left to go in the first half. Tyquan Reed on a pump fake, enters in the perimeter, steps back out, looks for help, and finds it in Concepcion with 10 to shoot. Launches a pro-link tray. Not good. Rebound for Blake Smith and Alice Lloyd. 30-25. Smith blocked out of bounds by Stan Nelms, who's trying to get back on defense, and Smith just stumbled near the sideline for Bluefield on this near side. Donnell Gooch back into the game. Stan Nelms knew it with his third foul and a team's fourth. So Nelms with 3 of the 4 fouls for Bluefield in the first half. The only other one, Taekwon Reed. That was early on in this first half. 7:05 before halftime. Austin Crisp gallops into the left wing. Good defense from Sean Robinson. Hands it off over to the freshman, Timmy Dalton. Dalton has been quiet in this basketball series. Spinning in the lane, powers for a shot. No good, but he walked before that. Alice Lloyd, with so many players that can take the ball down the floor, they have 3 guards out there now with Dalton as well as Crisp and Blake Smith. All of them love to use that Euro step. The Rams don't do that as much, and they've been called on the walk twice tonight. Jorge Concepcion dishes top of the key for Bluefield. Now in possession, Sean Robinson in the left wing. Matched up with Crisp, veers right off of his screen. Backs up near the free throw line. Dishes it over to Tripp. Lets it fly for 3 and nails it. 33-25. Rams up by 8. Ties their largest lead of the ball game. Pass on the right side, Timmy Dalton with an open lane. Hooks a layup, and it rolls in. Rams have to try to keep this one going. 33-27, moving fast. Concepcion finds an open trip, carries towards the basket, and rolls it in with the left hand. 35-27, whistles blow now after Tripp got the layup and then accidentally pushed the ball out of bounds, so now he will be called for a delay of game. So that will just stop the clock at 6:15, 35-27. Rams lead by 8 over Alice Lloyd. Looking for a shot to go to Indiana here inside of the dome. On to the left wing. Rams stepping up that zone defense. Not a team that plays a lot of man-to-man, even though Alice Lloyd has done that here today. Blake Smith pouncing in the lane, spins, and hits that mid-range jumper from about 12 feet, right in front of the free throw line. 35-29, Rams lead by 6. Sean Robinson, hard dish, Naquan Cousins, right wing, returns on the left wing, Taekwon Reed. Kicks it back up to Robinson, who calls a new offense for the Rams with 5:40 on the game clock. Just working the ball around the arc, looking for the open 3. Entry pass, Donnell Gooch, bounces right block. David Tripp, who rolls it in with the left hand again. Ambidextrous play from David Tripp makes it 37-29. On the other end, Naquan Cousins draws a charge. Timmy Dalton went into the paint with reckless abandonment, and Bluefield forces another turnover and the second foul on Timmy Dalton. Make that the 8th foul on Alice Lloyd, so the Rams in the bonus now. 37-29, trying to go up by double digits for the first time in this game. After it was 10-4 Alice Lloyd, the game has been completely different after that. Underhanded pass to Taekwon Reed, who tried for the overhead paint entry. Instead, swung it back out to his point guard. Robinson on a pump fake, misses the free throw length shot, misses from the right wing. Here comes Blake Smith going coast to coast. His pass tipped in the air. Donnell Gooch trying for the defense, but Chance Cornett got it on the second chance with the and 1. Donnell Gooch will have the foul. 37-31, back to a 6-point game. Buzzer sounds, and Dondre Warren will re-enter for Alice Lloyd. I think a point of emphasis for Donnell Gooch moving in the future. After talking about this with a few of the coaching staff, a guy that is 6'9", just needs to muscle up a little bit, get some more protein so he can be a little bit more dominant in the paint. Chance Cornett hits that free throw to make it an old-fashioned 3-point play. 37-32. Back down to 5 as the Rams were looking to go up by double digits, and then that big swing. Taekwon Reed, left corner 3. Yes! 40-32. Taekwon Reed with a left hand. The southpaw from Raleigh still getting it done. Kristen, like a bull in a china shop, draws a foul from David Tripp, who wants a tie-up. And instead of it being a call and a foul on David Tripp, they're going to notch that on Sean Robinson, who had a hand in. Halts the clock at 4:46. 40-32 is the score. And now Chance Cornett will have an inbounds pass in, as that was the Rams' 6th foul. So not a 1-and-1 foul yet. David Tripp goes to the bench. Olatunji Ibafemi back in, or into the game for the first time, I should say. Back in goes Jake Allen for Alice Lloyd, though, and he replaces Simon Kristen. Onto the right side of the basket, Cornett overheads Warren right wing, looking for someone to pass it to. Pump fake, chest pass left side, Jake Allen. Rips it back on the right end for Noah Young, who had a loose ball and corralled it right in front of that logo. 13 to shoot, feeds Cornett left corner. Pump fake, enters the lane, swings it two and misses. Offensive board Smith on the putback, he's blocked by Donnell Gooch. Loose ball in the paint, wrestling for it. Jake Allen has it, he's blocked again. Loose ball again onto the baseline, and it will stay for Alice Lloyd. But Donnell Gooch and Naquan Cousins really making it tough for Alice Lloyd to get anything done in the left or right block. 4:21 left in the clock. Chest pass right side. Dondre Warren gives it right back to Noah Young, who has no points in this game. Blake Smith lets it fly for three. Misses top of the key. Rebound for Donnell Gooch. Rams moving in transition. Naquan Cousins left block. Gallops towards the basket and slams it home. Timeout called by Hammond, and Bluefield now has jumped out to a 10-point lead, courtesy of the dunk from Naquan Cousins. 4:06 left to go before halftime, and we take a break on the Rams Digital Sports Network. After the Naquan Cousins dunk, Bluefield leads 42-32 with 4 minutes left before halftime. Rams really commanding so far, looking like they want to punch a ticket to Indiana. Alice Lloyd, though, has the potential to come back behind those shooters of Chance Cornett as well as Timmy Dalton, who is now off of the floor. Austin Crisp has it in the right wing for the Eagles with 10 to shoot. Goes towards the top of the key on the left elbow. Stutter step, feeds far corner. Dondre Warren on a pump fake. Cross-court lob, Noah Young. 3 to shoot. Young feeds Cornett in the corner for the three. No good, but he's fouled as the buzzer sounded. So the Alice Lloyd contingent clapping here as that was a dumb foul. 7th one, and that is the first one on Naquan Cousins. The three was likely not to go because it was so rushed, and Cousins sends Cornett to the line for 3 chances. Makes it 42-32. First free throw tickles the twine to make it 42-33. And Cornett has been the star so far today behind those big shots, and now one of the better free throw shooters for Alice Lloyd as he hits the second of 3 there to make it 42-34. Cornett, one of the 5 players for the Eagles averaging in double figures. He came into this tournament averaging 10 points per game and now hits all 3 free throws. Cut down to a 7-point game, 42-35, 3.5 minutes, and that is just the give and take of Naquan Cousins, something that'll definitely frustrate Richard Morgan, but he still loves to have that athlete on the floor. Jenkins feeds Ibafemi right wing, young man from Nigeria. Overhead pass, Naquan Cousins left wing, bounces top of the key to Reed. Turns Cousins, launches a tray, rattles it in. Like you said, the give and take, 45-35, 10-point lead for the Rams once again, courtesy Naquan Cousins. Chris, entry pass, Jake Allen towards the free throw line, spins it back out to Cornett. Launches a tray, yes, once again, Chance Cornett keeping Bluefield honest, 45-38 the score. 2:50 left to go. Before we take a break here, Jeremiah Jenkins with a chest pass on the right wing. Ibafemi, guy that doesn't score a lot of points, but he can shoot. Bounce pass, Cousins launches another three, misses on the corner, and it's pulled down by Dondre Warren. Austin Crisp going in transition, bounces top of the key. Warren loops towards the basket and kisses it off the glass with the left hand. Got it down to a 5-point game. 45-40, Alice Lloyd excited as Richard Morgan needs to talk this one over with his team with 2:31 left to go before half. Back to the game now. Jeremiah Jenkins running the point for Bluefield after the Rams timeout. 2:25 left to go. Reed now has it in the left wing. Rams led by as much as 10. Entry pass, Naquan Cousins, right block. Spins in towards the shot and gets it off the glass with the left hand. He was doubled up by Dondre Warren and Jake Allen, and the forward for Bluefield spun out of that defense to find another couple of points. 47-40 the score. Rams lead by 7. Entry pass, Dondre Warren bumps for the shot, hits it with the foul. Dondre Warren from the left block drew contact, somehow got that shot to clunk off the window to make it 47-42. Another and one for Alice Lloyd. That's the 8th foul on Bluefield. And it will be called on Donnell Gooch. That's his 2nd. Ibafemi also taken out of the game. Concepcion and David Tripp re-entering. Good lineup for Bluefield now with some shooters in Jenkins, Reed, and Concepcion. Free throw no good. Rebound Naquan Cousins. And literally every player for the Rams right now can shoot the three. Something a little bit better for the Rams as they are playing an offensively minded team in Alice Lloyd. David Tripp in the left wing. Cross-court lob over to Naquan Cousins. Feeds back to Reed. Chest pass, pump fake, gives it right back to Cousins. Entry pass, David Tripp. Scores with the left hand. Jumping towards the basket and makes it 49-42. Rams getting it done in the paint with their size. Austin Crisp backs up and now starts a new offense near that Rams logo. Minute and a half before halftime. One arm pass, Timmy Dalton on the left wing. Attacks baseline off of the defense from Taekwon Reed. Bounce pass in the paint, picked away by Taekwon Reed. Rams moving lightning fast in transition. Reed, Euro step, pumps a shot, no good. Stick back can't fall from David Tripp. Loose ball corralled by Naquan Cousins. Gets it back to Tripp and misses the hook shot with the foul, though, as he will go to the line. That was an ugly couple of seconds for Bluefield. But Naquan Cousins will get the credit for that rebound after the Rams couldn't get the fast break to fall. Stops the clock at a minute 10. Rams up by 7, 49-42. Have to see if they can keep this game going. David Tripp, the addition from Connecticut, misses the first free throw. And to start the year, David Tripp was one of the better players for Bluefield, averaging over 10 points per game. And as the wear and tear of the season went on, Tripp fell down to 9.7 points. But he's a guy that can get it done for the Rams because he can, quite frankly, do it all. Second shot, no good, but they call a violation on Gage Yespek, who didn't go into the paint. 1:10 left to go. 49-42. Rams up by 7 over Alice Lloyd here in the Mid-East Regional Final. Looking for a chance to go to Indiana. Bounce pass on the left block, or the left wing rather, for Cornett. Overheads Dalton. Zips inside to Austin Crisp. Feeds it back out to Cornett. Bumps in the paint and hooks it in with the right hand. Cornett has been the game breaker for Alice Lloyd as the Rams only lead by 5. 45 seconds before halftime as Jenkins overheads Reed in the right wing. Couple of pump fakes for Reed. Puts it back on the deck and gallops it back over to Jenkins. Loops in left block, Gage Yespek. Puts it back on the deck, feeds Tripp. Fires from 18 and rattles it in on the long two. 51-44, Rams lead by 7. Timmy Dalton almost lost that dribble going in transition. Feeds Cornett right wing, pops it right block. Austin Crisp fires back out on the left side. Dalton now has at the top of the key. 15 to shoot, shot clock off. Dalton powers baseline, jumps for two, and misses. Loose ball, got it on the offensive rebound, went up, missed the shot, and now they say it will stay. They said it was going to go to Bluefield, and now the other official came from the right wing to correct it and said that it will stay with Alice Lloyd. 9.6 seconds left to go. Got to see if Alice Lloyd will try for the last shot here. Inbounding Chance Cornett on the left side of the basket. Loops it in the corner for Austin Crisp. Good defense from Jeremiah Jenkins off a screen. Crisp feeds Cornett. Three ball, missed from the corner. Rebound for Allen, towing on the baseline, and he stepped out of bounds with half a second left to go. 0.5. Have to see if the Rams will even try this here. And this is, even though it's under a second, you can get a shot up. And Gage Jesbeck will likely have to hurl it down the floor to get a prayer up. Rams lead by 7. They've led by as much as 10. And Gage Jesbeck trying for the one-arm pass, gives to Jenkins. Feed from the backcourt. No good. It was on line, but just a bit short. But the Rams will go into halftime, leading by 7, 51-44. What an offensive first half we've had at the Dome. We've got a whole brand new ball game coming up in the second half when we come back on the Rams Digital Sports Network. almost ready to start up the second half. Rams lead 51-44. They have to deal with Chance Cornett, though, who has scored 19 points for Alice Lloyd in this one, but the Rams have 3 players in double figures, 15 from Cousins, 14 from Jeremiah Jenkins, and 11 points from David Tripp here on the Rams Digital Sports Network in the NCCAA Mideast Regional Final. 20 minutes left to decide who will go to Indiana and compete for a Christian College National Championship. Bailey Engel here. Glad to have you with us. It's been a fun one so far. Alice Lloyd, a team that comes into this game averaging right around 95 points per contest, and they have shown why today. But the Rams have been able to keep up with them and get those baskets to fall. Naquan Cousins coming off of the bench, as well as David Tripp and Jenkins. 3 players in double figures for Bluefield, all that didn't get starts in this game. Now going back out onto the floor, Sean Robinson, Concepcion, Donnell Gooch, Taekwon Reed, and Stanthony Nelms will highlight this first couple of minutes for Bluefield, matched up with Chance Cornett, who has 19 points, Austin Crisp, Dondre Warren, Timmy Dalton, as well as Blake Smith. We're happy to have you here. Final half of basketball played on this season inside the Dome Gymnasium in Bluefield, Virginia. Dish in the far corner, Timmy Dalton, his team down by 7. Dalton a little quiet as he hands it off to Cornett, who has been the main X factor for Alice Lloyd. On the baseline now, Dondre Warren has it, looking for someone to pass it to. Ball overhead with 12 to shoot. Steps into the right wing and feeds it over to Cornett. Gives it right back to Warren. Loops into a pass on the right block for Chris. 5 to shoot. Dondre Warren on the right wing. Stutter step, drives inside, feeds Chris. 3 at the buzzer. No good. Rebound Smith. Put back off the glass and in. Long possession for Alice Lloyd ends in 2 points and makes it a 5-point game once again, 51-46. Sean Robinson a little quiet there in that first half, and then Jeremiah Jenkins came in like the Jeremiah Jenkins we came to know at the end of January moving into February. Taekwon Reed pops a 3. Front rim no good. Dondre Warren pulls down the defensive rebound. Bounces it across the timeline for Dalton. Drives on the right side of the lane. Euro step and finger roll. Falls, and now a timeout called by Richard Morgan already. 51-48. 2 big possessions for Alice Lloyd, and it's a 3-point game here at the Dome. (51-48) the score. Rams only lead by 3. They've led by as much as 10 twice. And now a whistle as looks like some of the kids playing let a tennis ball roll out onto the floor. Now we had to stop that. So that only elapsed about 3 seconds off the shot clock. That's small school basketball for you folks. As Reed lobs it into the backcourt for Sean Robinson, who will take it across the logo with no pressure. Chest pass on the right side for Taekwon Reed. Zips top of the key, Concepcion. One-arm dish, Robinson left wing. Pops it back over to Concepcion in the far corner, fighting off the defense from Timmy Dalton. Now he's matched up with Dondre Warren. Off a screen, Concepcion feeds Reed. 9 to shoot, pops it back over to Nelms. Attacks the paint, loops over to Concepcion. Toes baseline, lobs it to Gooch. Kicks out wide. Reed for 3. Front rim no good. Rebound for Chance Cornett. And Alice Lloyd has it back with a 1-possession game. Here comes Blake Smith, carries in the lane, zips corner, over for Chris, feeds Cornett, launches a 3, no good. From the top of the arc, bumping for the rebound, Sean Robinson. Sprinting across the baseline, lost the ball. Dalton feeds Smith to the basket. He missed the dunk, but he's fouled by Sean Robinson. So he definitely had an open look at the basket right there and then just couldn't convert. So now it'll be 2 shots for Blake Smith. And Smith was a guy that came into this series averaging 17 points per game as that first shot clonks off the back iron, no good. And so far in this game, he has just 7 points. Chance Cornett coming up as the big hero for Alice Lloyd. 51-48 the score, 18:07 left to go in the game. Smith bounces that one through as it hits the front rim first and makes it a 2-point contest. 51-49, Rams lead by 2. Jeremiah Jenkins into the game. Sean Robinson snatched out. Chest pass in the left side, Taekwon Reed bounces it down low to Goot, zips it back over to Taekwon Reed. Carries in the lane, draws a foul from Smith, and now Taekwon Reed will shoot 2. It's something a little bit different that Taekwon Reed does compared to other basketball players we have seen Bluefield play this year. He has these very bouncy moves when he goes with a dribble. It's like his entire body dribbles with him. And now he will shoot 2 with a left hand. Front rim miss. Taekwon Reed is just not on it so far in the second half. Missed a couple of threes and now has missed his first free throw the second half. 51-49, his second. This time it swirls in and Reed gets a nod. 52-49, Naekwon Cousins re-enters the game. Taekwon Reed taken off. Cousins has 15 points for Bluefield. Rams kicking up a full court press now. Naekwon Cousins trying to pressure over to Crisp, who underhands Dondre Warren across the timeline. Here's right side. Warren matched up with Naekwon Cousins. Chest pass right. Austin Crisp feeds out on the left end for Timmy Dalton with 13 to shoot. 17.5 minutes left to go. Bounces with 10 to shoot now. Crisp pressured by Jeremiah Jenkins. Beers top of the key. Crossover dribble. Attacks paint. Loops blocked by Naekwon Cousins. Loose ball corralled by Jorge Concepcion. Rams in transition. Concepcion slows it down on the right wing and backs it out top of the key. Jeremiah Jenkins. Stutter step feeds Cousins left wing. Goes inside the paint. Drives. Spins. Shoots. Off the glass. And rattling through. 54-49. Going across the timeline. Crisp just flips it onto the right wing. Rams lead by 5 now. Another shot hit. And Timmy Dalton gets it to go for Alice Lloyd. And they had some scoreboard issues here where the Rams had hopped up about 100 points when Naekwon Cousins hit that one layup. So after the 2 falls for Timmy Dalton, it is now 54-51. 16:55 before we call it quits here and send a team to Indiana. 3-point lead. Jeremiah Jenkins onto the right wing, powers down the line, loops a layup, and bounces missing. Jeremiah Jenkins trying for that reverse layup, now has to get back on defense. Blake Smith, coast to coast, bangs it home off the window. We got ourselves a 1-point ball game. 54-53 now the score. Jenkins didn't get back on defense fast enough, and then Smith had a hard nose going straight to the cup. Jorge Concepcion down the baseline, count it with the foul. He had an open look, went straight down the line, got fouled, and then finished with 2 hands right off the window to make it 56-53. So now we'll try to finish off this old-fashioned 3-point play with his dad watching from the sideline. That first shot, no good. Rebound, Dondre Warren. Still a 3-point lead. That's just the second foul on Chance Cornett, by the way, and the second one for Alice Lloyd. Going coast to coast, Timmy Dalton hacked in the lane. You have to see who that foul will be called on. It's either David Tripp or Donnell Gooch, and it will be tasked on Tripp. Second foul of the second half for David Tripp. For the Rams, however. And the first foul for Tripp as that shot falls for Dalton. Can Dalton get it done in the second half? His team has relied on him a ton throughout the season. 56-54. Going out of the game, Cornett, Simon Kristen in for Alice Lloyd. Fires the second shot. Missed the second free throw. Rebound, Tripp, and he punched it out of bounds. He jumped to the right, couldn't corral it, and then just dribbled it right out of bounds, and it will be an inbounds pass right under the basket for Alice Lloyd. Eagles bench loving that. J.R. Hammond, the head coach, catching some breaks in the second half. Sean Robinson comes into the game for David Tripp. Bluefield loses a bit of size now as the 2 primary point guards are in for the Rams, Jenkins and Robinson. That was just a boneheaded play by David Tripp, and he knew he was coming out right after it. Chris flicks it up in the air. Timmy Dalton drives down the line, shoots with 2 hands, and gets it to fall with the foul. That might have broken the window. It just banged right through the square and then fell through the nylon to tie up the game at 56-56. Taekwon Reed back in. Jorge Concepcion subbed out as Dalton has a chance to try to give Alice Lloyd the lead. What a break it was for that David Tripp error. Shot for Dalton, and the lead is won for Alice Lloyd, 57-56. Both teams not wanting to end their season today. Taekwon Reed flips top of the key over to Jeremiah Jenkins. Down the line he goes, pops from the elbow, front iron miss. Rebound Kristen for Alice Lloyd. 15:55 left in this game. Dalton sprinting into the right wing, dribbles behind his back, loses the ball, picked up by Sean Robinson. Almost fouled in the backcourt, now taking it across the timeline. Feeds Naquan Cousins, pops it back to Gooch. His pass off the chest of Kristen. Crisp feeds down the baseline, and Timmy Dalton gets it to go on the cherry-picking effort. 59-56, a three-point lead for Alice Lloyd. They led by as much as 6 in the first half. Now Jenkins, step back triple. Rattles away from the top of the key, rebound Kristen. 59-56. Smith feeds on the corner for Austin Cripps. Drives in the paint, loses the ball, picks it back up, underhands Cripps, attacks the lane, shoots and misses the layup. Donnell Gooch gives it right back to Taekwon Reed. Feeds to Jenkins. Fires from the free throw line. Back iron. Couldn't go on the second try. Finds his own rebound, though. Swings out near corner. Robinson launches the tray. Nowhere close. Rebound Dalton. Back for Alice Lloyd. The Rams are trying to play too fast, and they need to settle down a little bit. A timeout called by Alice Lloyd. A three-point lead for the Eagles with 14:51 left to go in the game. Alice Lloyd with a three-point lead here in the Mid-East Regional Final. They have the ball in the backcourt. Warren ready to inbound for the Eagles when the Rams set back with Jenkins, Taekwon Reed, Robinson, Naquan Cousins, and David Tripp. Can they get it done with 14:45 left to go in the second half? Chris fighting off the defenders, drives down the left elbow, bounces left baseline. Warren carries towards the basket, misses the layup with the foul though. Warren just shuffled down that left side of the hoop, banged into Naquan Cousins, and that shot almost rolled in. Trying to make it a two-possession game now. Dondre Warren goes back up towards the free throw line. And Chance Cornett has been noticeably quiet. He comes back into the game. A two-sport athlete at Alice Lloyd. His first shot, Dondre Warren misses back iron as the ball bounces away. Returning to the game, Donnell Gooch, Taekwon Reed taken off. A quiet day for the shooting guard. 14:38 left before we call it quits and send a team to Indiana. Lane violation on Naquan Cousins, but the shot falls anyway. 60-56, the Rams trail by 4. Sean Robinson acting as the point guard. Jeremiah Jenkins setting up in the left block, low in the post for Bluefield. Robinson veers right off a screen and bumps into Kristen with the foul. So not a great foul for Kristen. That'll be the third foul on the Eagles in the second half and his first of the game. Noah Young into the game as well, another guard for Alice Lloyd. Kristen, not really a guy that gets it done offensively, but he has pressured Bluefield in the low post. Naquan Cousins just loops in the backcourt where it's caught by the junior from Wilmington, North Carolina. Robinson veering right off of the screen, enters inside the perimeter, picks it back up, and loops in the right side for David Tripp. 7 to shoot for Bluefield. Goes inside the paint, bounces left block. Gooch fires a mid-range, swirls out, no good. Rebound Cornett. Cherry picking Austin Crisp. Alice Lloyd in transition, pops from 12. Back iron, no good. Rebound Warren, puts it on the deck, fires the putback, and pushes it through. 62-56, a 6-point lead for Alice Lloyd. 13:50 left to go in the game. Rams need to find out what to do with these Eagles. Jenkins spins top of the key. Naquan Cousins drives in, picks up his dribble, and gives it over to Gooch. Returns Cousins, top of the arc, spins. Back out to Gooch. Around the arc they go. Robinson toes baseline, floats, and stuffs the ball in the crevice between the rim and the backboard. So the possession arrow points the way of Bluefield with 13:34 left. They'll have another chance here with a fresh shot clock. Concepcion back into the game. Really no one getting it done for Bluefield, especially after Naquan Cousins got a little cold here in the second half. He was a huge reason why the Rams went up by 10 at multiple points in the first half. Inbounds pass over to Gooch in the corner, gives it to Concepcion, who underhands Jenkins. Around the arc, the Rams looking for an open three. Taekwon Reed, certainly a guy to do it. He backs up in the right wing, pressured in the zone by Warren. Bouncy dribbles for Reed, pump fake, and gives it to Jenkins, top of the key. Dish far corner, Concepcion steps into a tray, nothing but net. That'll get Bluefield back into it, 62-59. Here comes Chris on the other end, powers into a layup, no good. Gooch tips it into the hands of Cornett, though. Offensive board for Alice Lloyd. Kristen lets it fly for three. Front iron, no good. Warren with another rebound for Alice Lloyd, though. And now Chris halts for a new possession. Gallops in towards the perimeter, passes Kristen left wing, dish on the corner for Cornett, who had an offensive foul, elbowing into Jeremiah Jenkins. The Rams get it back. Rather, that will be called a walk on Cornett. Bounce pass into Jeremiah Jenkins. 12:50 left to go in the NCCAA Mideast Regional. Rams looking to end their time at the Dome here in 2018 with a win. Concepcion with a couple of pump fakes. Hard chest pass, Taekwon Reed. Open lane, right block, pumps a layup, fouled as the ball bounced off the window and away from the basket. That was a good chance for Taekwon Reed as the Red Sea really opened up towards the basket, and then a foul was drawn. The fourth one on Alice Lloyd, and the second one for Simon Kristen. It'll be two shots for Taekwon Reed, who is 1 of 2 from the line. Left-handed player said his best decision was to come here to Bluefield. Tickles the twine on that first foul shot. Makes it 62-60, and we saw a video on an interview that I did with Taekwon Reed just a couple of weeks ago. And Reed has such a supporting network on Facebook coming out of North Carolina. A lot of people sharing his very popular guy, well-liked by his teammates. Loops the second shot, back iron miss, rebound Kristen. 62-60, Alice Lloyd up by 2. Noah Young commanding the point right now for the Eagles. Jeremiah Jenkins gets back on defense after his screen. Noah Young drives left side, loops over to Cornett, left wing. Concepcion on the defense. Blake Smith fires a free throw line jumper and hits it. 64-60. Alice Lloyd back up by 2 possessions. Concepcion has to get into the game as well. Trying to take the ball over. The Rams coaching staff kind of needs Concepcion to be motivated, because he's a guy that doesn't necessarily take the chances that Taekwon Reed does. Cross-court lob with 12 minutes to go. Concepcion on the left wing. Off the screen, enters the perimeter, pops from the free throw line, hits it. 64-62. 11:50 left to go in the game. That's exactly the shot that Concepcion needed, and he hit it from the elbow. On the right wing now, Dalton toes inside the line, fires from 17, rattles away, rebound Concepcion for Bluefield. Now with a chance to tie or take the lead. Concepcion dribbles behind his back, goes in the lane, spins, shoots, and scores. Count it! With the foul. Wow! Some of the Alice Lloyd players, as well as the head coach J.R. Hammond, thought that was a walk. But that will be an and one, maybe the best one we've seen here at the Dome. He was like a tornado in the lane and let it fly from the paint. That's the 3rd foul on Dalton. 5th one on Alice Lloyd. Concepcion bends the knees, shoots, and scores. Rams have now taken the lead, 65-64 from the play of the game from Concepcion. Could be a game changer. Out of a trap, Young feeds Kristen. Open lane towards the basket. Couple of pump fakes in the paint. Loops it with the right hand, no good. Snatched off the board by Naquan Cousins. Rams moving fast in transition. Cousins going straight towards the basket and hacked on a layup attempt. Shouldn't say layup attempt because Naquan Cousins Not a guy that necessarily does layups if he has to. He was looking to pump that rim down. Now he'll shoot two. He's perfect at the free throw line in this game. With 11:15 left to go, Rams lead by one, 65-64. And that is the fourth foul on Simon Kristen, all within about 4 minutes for Alice Lloyd. So now 2 shots for the sophomore from North Carolina. His first, rims out. And Cousins has a lot of the same things to say about Bluefield College that Taekwon Reed does. Makes it sound like one of the better decisions he's ever made, because both of them came from a community college that didn't play great basketball. They said it was just them and everyone else. Spinning the ball in his hands, Taekwon Cousins fires again, misses both free throws. So the perfect day from the charity stripe ends, and the rebound pulled down by Alice Lloyd's Dalton. 65-64, Rams have taken the lead again. Pass on the left wing, stolen away by Concepcion. Cherry picking Jenkins in the paint, jumps for the layup, good. But before that, they said there's a technical, and they're going to have to see, will the shot count? Technical called on the coach, J.R. Hammond, and Richard Morgan's trying to argue that the shot should count. But when was the technical called? And they have not added the points to the scoreboard. So that's the second time today that Alice Lloyd has had a technical that has stopped a Bluefield fast break. And they count the layup. So it doesn't stop the fast break. 67-64, Jenkins shooting two and hits again. This could be a huge swing here. Now, obviously, 11 minutes left to play in the game. There's a lot of time for Alice Lloyd, but Bluefield, if Jenkins hits this and then gets the ball back again, the Rams could go up by 3 possessions. Both shots hit by Jenkins, 69-64. So Rams will not keep possession. They're up by 5, though, 69-64. Kristen has the ball for the inbounds pass. Rams going with a full court man-to-man press, likely to go back into his zone after the ball is crossing the timeline. Jenkins pressuring Noah Young, goes down the sideline, straight towards the lane, loops with the left hand, no good. Rebound, Allen, hacked on the putback, and he'll go to the line for 2. That's a different way of shooting we've seen from Noah Young. He just went right from the free throw line and tried to lob it up underhanded from 15 feet away like a layup. That's the second foul called on Taekwon Reed, though. First shot for Allen. Nothing but net. 69-65, 10:49 left on the clock. Allen swirling the ball around in his hands, follows through, misses, tipped in the air. Yesbeck gave it over to Taekwon Cousins, and Bluefield has the possession. They lead by 4. Rams with a swing here. Jeremiah Jenkins get hot. He passes Concepcion. Fadeaway jumper. Drains it from 18. Straight back from the free throw line to make it 71-65. 10.5 minutes left to go. Noah Young on a crossover dribble. The freshman left with a left hand, and hits that layup. This time from 5 feet. 71-67. Rams lead by 4. 20 left to go. Bluefield has the ball back. Jeremiah Jenkins as the point guard to start today. But back on the way. Coming off Bluefield. Concepcion, right base, backs out near corner. Right in front of the zone with 12 to shoot. Rams are slowing it down. 10 remaining in the game. Cross court lob wing. Jeremiah Jenkins down in the lane, looking for separation. Beats Yesbeck, long two. From the corner, he missed. Rebound, Blake Smith. Yesbeck let it fly right in front of his own coaching staff, and here comes Smith. Bouncing the ball behind his back. Hits the deck with a foul. Rams trips him up there, and that'll be on Taekwon Reed. Jeremiah Jenkins hits first, team 6. They call it on the spot of the foul. They will inbound it right parallel with the sideline, on the far sideline right in front of the Rams bench. 71-67, 9:40 left to go. Noah Young lets it fly from long range and misses. And that will frustrate the Eagles bench as they had a fresh possession there, and Noah Young just tried it. Maya Jenkins looking for a new offense on the left wing. Noah Young pressuring him, trying to swat that ball away. Jenkins backing up near that logo, passes in the left wing, Jorge Concepcion. He's matched up with Dalton now with 10 to shoot, 9:20 left in the game. Feeds Reed on the left corner. Now inside the paint, hooks it with the right hand, misses, tipped in the air, rebound Jesbeck, loops it back out to Concepcion. Concepcion with that offensive board. Gage Jesbeck had to fight it back for Bluefield. Now the Rams are slowing it down. 9 minutes left to go in the game. Noah Young and that man-to-man defense. Jenkins trying to get past him, slipped and keeps that ball alive. Jenkins veers back towards the logo with 10 to shoot. Kicks it back out to Taekwon Reed. 8 to shoot now. Reed with a crossover dribble. Off the screen from Jesbeck, goes down the paint. Pops from 17, misses from the right wing. Rebound Naquan Cousins. Underhands it to Jesbeck. Punched in the lane and a foul is called. That'll be the 8th foul called on Alice Lloyd. So Gage Jesbeck, they will not call that a shooting foul likely. And yes, they're going to call that a shooting foul. Gage Jesbeck is shooting too. What a big couple of offensive boards for Bluefield, and Gage Jesbeck playing in his last game at the Dome tries to get the Rams up by 5 or 6 here. First shot with a right hand, good. And they called it a 1-and-1 actually, so it was not a shooting foul. I apologize, 72-67. Meanwhile, that's the second foul called on Blake Smith for Alice Lloyd, the team 8th. Jesbeck misses the second free throw, looking for the rebound, wrestling for it in the elbow, can't get it. Warren picked it up for Alice Lloyd. Out of a trap, looking for someone to pass it to. Hooks it across the timeline for Dalton. Overheads over to Jorge Concepcion of the steal. Rams in transition, alley-oop, no good. Got it on the putback, Concepcion blocked by Timmy Dalton. What a big couple of minutes that was. Bounce pass in the left block. Chris finishes with the right hand, and Richard Morgan is losing the jacket. 72-69 now. Concepcion stutter step, and an offensive foul called on a pushback from Jorge Concepcion to give the ball right back to Alice Lloyd. Everybody's running around. We just have to slow it down here at the Dome. Second foul called on Jorge Concepcion. We're in the NCCAA Mid-East Regional. Thanks for joining us on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Last basketball game played this season at the Dome. Rams hosting this regional after Alice Lloyd won yesterday 91-88 against Hiwassee College. Noah Young for Hiwassee, or rather Alice Lloyd, bounces in the left block over to Dondre Warren, tries to keep it alive and does to Chance Cornett. Feeds in the corner for Noah Young. Now toes inside the paint, kicks out wide over to Chris, misses the fade, and now it's picked away by Jesbeck. Jenkins feeds Naquan Cousins straight to the cup, misses the layup, but a block is called on Chance Cornett. So Cousins will have 2 shots. He's 1 of 2 now from the free throw line in the second half for Bluefield as they lead by only 3. That's the 3rd foul on Cornett. Scored 19 points in the first half. We're very happy to have you here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. It's been a fun one. The Rams have led by as much as 10. They did that twice in the first half. Naquan Cousins now shooting 2, bends the knees, shoots, and drills it. 73-69. So a 4-point lead for the Rams with 7 minutes and 47 seconds before triple zeros in this one. Cousins threading the ball through his right hand, loops, and hits both free throws. 74-69. 5-point lead for Bluefield. Sean Robinson checking back into the game. Jeremiah Jenkins taken off. Dondre Warren powers inside the paint. Rejected by Naquan Cousins. Looped in by Taekwon Reed. Robinson hit the deck hard, and he fouled Austin Crisp. So Naquan Cousins with a completely devastating block of that shot. It went out of bounds. Taekwon Reed tried to swing it back towards midcourt. It was caught by Austin Crisp, and then Sean Robinson bumped into him for the team's 8th foul. So Crisp will be shooting a 1-and-1 here, the senior from Kentucky. And after really commanding yesterday for Alice Lloyd, he has been kind of quiet today. The main guy keeping them in the game has been Chance Cornett in that first half. Dondre Warren's done a better job in the second. Crisp takes a long look, front end of a 1-and-1. Clonks in. After hitting the front rim, gets a little help from the window and just tickles the twine. 74-70, Concepcion enters the game for Gage Jesbeck. 2-possession game. And if Crisp makes this, it could be a 3-point contest with 7:34 left to go. Crisp with a stuttering look, misses the free throw. Rebound Concepcion on the left block in the backcourt. Robinson has it for Bluefield. Rams have looked more confident in the past 5 minutes than they have been in the entire game. Tyquan Reed lost the ball, punched in the air. Robinson tips it back into the corner for David Tripp, swatting the ball loose. Tripp almost lost it in the backcourt, swings it over to Concepcion, and the Rams finally have confident possession. 7 to shoot, though. Tyquan Reed pumps a tray. Yes! After all that, Bluefield finally finds the three from Tyquan Reed, 77-70. He's been quiet from three land. Entry pass, crisp in the right block, went to the ground. They call it a dribble, though, no walk. Smith in the lane, misses the shot with a foul. And Richard Morgan is upset. Still a 7-point lead for the Rams, one of their largest in the second half. There's 6:52 left to go in the game. Alice Lloyd has kept themselves so close, though. Or shot for Smith, nothing but net. 77-71. And this is a big part of the reason why Hiwassee lost yesterday, is because Alice Lloyd's defense made them just make bad decisions. The Rams are a little bit better of a basketball team than Hiwassee, but still, it makes everything a little bit more difficult as both free throws fall. 77-72, Robinson carrying the ball left to right for the Rams as he bounces across midcourt. Chest pass on the left side, Tyquan Reed backing up after he hit his first three of the second half. Cross court lob, Concepci over to Cousins. His three, nothing but net. Had an open look and drained it. 80-72 now. 6.5 minutes remaining. Chance Cornett needs to answer. Carries in the lane. Blocked by Tripp, but a foul called on the layup attempt. So Cornett will have 2 free throws. David Tripp looked like he got a palm on it. Have to see who that foul is called on. That'll be the 9th one on Bluefield. 6:27 left to go. Cornett rattles in that first free throw. Rather, that's David Tripp's second and the team's 10th. 7-point lead for the Rams, though. Cornett trying to cut it down to 6. Takes a long look, fires and hits. 80-74. The star today for Cornett, over 20 points for the young man for Alice Lloyd. 6:20 left to go in the game. Robinson dishes right wing, Tyquan Reed. Reed needs those 3 balls to start falling if Bluefield wants to put a dagger in it. Tripp lets it fly. Right wing 3, no good. Rebound Warren, pumps it over to Chris. Cherry picking Cornett, straight to the basket. Layup, yes. 80-76. Alice Lloyd, that's why they score over 95 points per game. 4-point lead for the Rams. They led by as much as 7. Now, just like that, back down to 2 possessions. Concepcion, chest pass top of the key. Tyquan Cousins pops it over to Reed, left wing, matched up with Blake Smith. Starts to back it up towards the top of the arc and kicks on the right end for Robinson. Back towards the top of the key, Tyquan Cousins hoping for help with 8 to shoot. Cousins powering down the right block, underhand strip, but an offensive foul called as Cousins trucked over Cornett, who drew the charge. 3rd foul on Cousins, and the offensive foul gives the ball right back to Alice Lloyd, who's down by just 4. Back and forth game, and we talked about that confidence from Bluefield right around the 12-minute to the 7-minute mark. It's starting to dwindle now. Timeout called by Richard Morgan. He wants a full timeout to discuss it. 80-76, 5:38 left to go in the game here in the NCCAA Mid-East Regional Final. 5:38 left to go in the game. Rams just lead by 4, 80-76. Richard Morgan needed to call a timeout right after Naquan Cousins trucked over Chance Cornett for the offensive foul. Alice Lloyd gets the ball back down by 4. They have sneakily been close to tying this game up for the entire second half. 5.5 minutes here in the NCCAA Mid-East Regional Final. Loops on the right side, Blake Smith. Entry pass, Warren right block. Toes down the baseline, under the basket, spins out right wing. Smith fires for 3. Too hard, looking for the rebound. Reed slammed down to the floor, and a foul is called on Blake Smith for Alice Lloyd, and Taekwon Reed just a bit shaken up. Gathers himself to get back after he jumped up near the right elbow. The sophomore punched him down looking for that rebound, and the foul will give Bluefield the ball right back. 80-76, stops the clock at 5:20. Taekwon Reed has hit just 1 3 in the second half. Bluefield looking for a way to power through here, and Reed will have 2 shots as that was the team's 10th foul. Both teams in the double bonus. And Reed eyeing that rim. Relatively quiet as the main game changer for Bluefield today as he hits that first free throw. 81-76, a 5-point lead for the Rams. Like we said, they led by as much as 10 twice in the first half. Second half has been a little bit more dastardly. Reed lets that one roll off the back iron and falls through the net. 82-76, a 6-point lead for the Rams as now Robinson breathes down the neck of Crisp, the point guard for Alice Lloyd. Walking across midcourt, he gets into the front court now in the left wing. Bounces in the left block, Timmy Dalton. Going back inside the paint, carries with a right hand, chucks it up and fouled. The rhythm of this game now is move into the paint, get hacked, and go to the free throw line. Stops the clock at 5:04. 82-76, that is the third foul on Taekwon Reed. First shot for Dalton, bounces around and falls through. Dalton not in double figures yet after coming into this NCCAA Mid-East Regional, averaging 18 points per game, leading the Eagles. Came off the bench in the win yesterday. Second shot, Dalton drains them both, 82-78, back down to a 4-point contest. Tremiah Jenkins was red hot in the first half, now slightly cold in the second. Chest pass right wing, Taekwon Reed. Cross-court lob, David Tripp. Thought about a 3 on a pump fake. Drives down the left side, shoots and misses, but the foul is called on Alice Lloyd. So once again, going to the line, David Tripp. Tripp, not a guy that usually shoots the 3, but Alice Lloyd has to take those threats seriously because he is a guy that can get it done from 3 land. Going back up towards the charity stripe on a hip-high dribble. David Tripp follows with a right hand and swishes. 83-78. We're going to try to punch a ticket to Indiana. Richard Morgan always stresses the fact that Bluefield needs to play defensively sound basketball. Second shot for Tripp. He hits them both. 84-78 the score. Rams up by 6 points with under 5 minutes left to go in the game. 4:48 on the clock as Austin Crisp shuffles in towards the right wing near that far sideline. Cornett pumps a tray. Back iron, just stuffed off the back of the rim, goes out of bounds, and looking for who the referees will point it to, the Rams have it back. So now a chance to make it possibly a 9-point or an 8-point lead here. The Rams have led by as much as 8 in the second half, but at 10 twice in the first half. Jenkins fighting off of Austin Crisp into the right wing, spinning off that man-to-man defense. Near the top of the key, feeds to the free throw line, David Tripp. Ball over his head, puts it on the deck, loops it back out to Concepcion on a bounce. Shoots from the free throw line and swirls it in. Concepcion again, an 8-point lead for the Rams, 86-78. Alice Lloyd needs to find an answer. Dalton with a crossover dribble, open look under the basket, reverse layup, can't stick it. Rebound Concepcion for the Rams. Rams looking to get up by 2 possessions or 2 digits here. 86-78, they lead by 8 points. Jenkins backing up on the far sideline near the timeline. Open lane down the free throw line, bounces near corner. Long 3, good for Naquan Cousins. 11-point lead for the Rams. Timeout Alice Lloyd, largest lead of the game for Bluefield, and a timeout for J.R. Hammond. Rams lead by 11 with 3:41 left to go in the game. After the three from Cousins, the Rams lead by 11 points, 89-78, just 3 minutes and 41 seconds from punching a ticket to Indiana for the NCCAA Finals at Grace College. Oh, they get that ball right across midcourt. Alice Lloyd finding a way for the layup is Timmy Dalton towing down the baseline. 3.5 minutes left to go. Jeremiah Jenkins and his team lead by 9, 89-80 now. Jenkins and Bluefield probably will need to score 100 points to try to solidify this win. Concepcion out of a trap, able to call a timeout from Richard Morgan. So Concepcion almost lost the ball. Richard Morgan calls the timeout after Concepcion is able to get it there. We'll take another break. 3:16 left to go. Rams lead by 9. .316 left to go in the game. Out of the timeout, Taekwon Reed will inbounds for Bluefield. Swings top of the key. Concepcion. Rams lead 89-80. Concepcion toes inside of the perimeter and hands off Concepcion left wing. Bounces it back over to Jeremiah Jenkins. Off a screen, top of the key. Jenkins looking at the rim with 6 to shoot. Bounce pass Cousins. Pops a long 2 and hits it with his foot on the line. 91-80. Once again, Cousins makes it a 2-digit lead. Alice Lloyd panicking now. Feed on the far corner. Smith lost the ball, but he's fouled as he was going for that layup. Another foul called. Everything slowing down to a halt now. Third foul called on Jorge Concepcion, and both teams in a double bonus situation anyway. J.R. Hammond with a knee on the floor. The head coach for Alice Lloyd as the first shot falls for Blake Smith. Back down to a 10-point game. 91-81. All fouls will result in 2 shots from here on out. Second shot for Smith. He hits it. Single-digit lead again, 91-82. Cornett with that elbow sleeve and all back into the game. Simon Kristen out. He already has 4 fouls. Cornett has 3. Inbounds pass for Jenkins. Bounces it back to Cousins. Rams moving across the timeline. Concepcion on the right wing. Meanders down the left side of the paint. Pumps a layup. No good. Rebound Cousins. Puts it on the deck. Now going for the layup. Sticks it on the reverse try. 93-82. Cousins on fire. Back on the defensive end. He gets in the way of the shot from Cornett. And a foul is called on Cousins. Another one. 2 shots for Cornett. And that is the 4th foul on Cousins with 2.5 minutes left to go. He needs to stay clean, definitely. 2 minutes and 31 seconds. Alice Lloyd, because of the speed of play they push the pace at, they make Bluefield foul a lot. First shot for Cornett. Skies in the air and bounces off the back of the rim out on the right side. Now the second shot for Chance Cornett. The main star for Alice Lloyd today. Follows through and tickles the twine. 93-83, 10-point lead. Cousins shuffles it into Taekwon Reed. Dangerous pass backwards to Jeremiah Jenkins. One-arm pass to Concepcion across the timeline. Skates out of a double team and a bounce over to Taekwon Reed. Rams setting up a new offense now, pressured in the man-to-man. Jeremiah Jenkins with hard dribbles, passes near corner, trip, lets it fly. Misses from 3, land on the corner. Rebound Warren, though, 2-10. Now under the basket goes Cornett, sticks the layup, and a timeout called by Alice Lloyd. He called that timeout as the ball was inside of the cup. 93-85, a 7-point lead now, or rather an 8-point lead. Rams just 2.5 minutes away from going to Indiana, but Alice Lloyd very close. (93-85) the score. Rams lead by 8, 2:08 left to go. Hard inbounds pass into Concepcion. Stan Nelms back in the game. Bounce pass in the backcourt. Nelms overheads it over to Dalton, who stole it away for the Eagles. Going down the far sideline, looking for the layup, fouled as he couldn't get it onto the rim. Bad pass for Stan Nelms, and Richard Morgan is calling him over already. Just calling so many fouls, and Nelms with his 4th foul. Concepcion getting a talking to from Richard Morgan. Alice Lloyd with a couple of chances at the free throw line here with 1:57 left to go in the game. The freshman Dalton arcs and hits for that first free throw, 93-86. David Tripp back into the game. Nelms taken out after notching his 4th foul. 1:57 left to go. Dalton misses front rim. Rebound Tripp. Fighting for it. Now in the backcourt. Kicks it up towards the timeline for Naquan Cousins. Rams going to slow it down as Cousins beats Jenkins right wing. Into the corner now for Concepcion. Pump fake out of a double team. Dribbles into the right wing. Spins it over to Taekwon Reed. Now pops from 5. Misses. Rebound Naquan Cousins skying in the air. Underhands it back over to Concepcion. Minute and a half remaining. 93-86 the score. Rams leading by 7. Taekwon Reed drives down the paint, bounces left block. David Tripp able to roll it off his fingers onto the glass, and that kiss off the window makes it 95-86. Bounce pass into the corner. Dalton walked, no foul called, and the freshman very upset about that. You got to remember Alice Lloyd already has 2 technicals in this game. One from Austin Crisp, as well as another from the head coach J.R. Hammond. And Taekwon Reed rolls it back to David Tripp after the freshman guard for Alice Lloyd just stuffed it right into the court. 95-86, Rams lead by 9. Minute 18 left to go. Tripp pops it in over to Jeremiah Jenkins. Fouled onto the baseline there, and he will have 2 shots. So Alice Lloyd already going with the fouling at this point in the game might seem necessary. A minute 16 left to go. Jeremiah Jenkins, the best free throw shooter for Bluefield. He has not missed today. Freshman from the 757 out in the Hampton Roads area of Virginia, eyeing the rim. Went to Norfolk, or is from Norfolk, as Jenkins loops, pops out, missed the free throw. 95-86 the score. Jenkins trying to make it a 2-digit lead for the Rams again. Eyes the rim, fires, hits this one. 96-86, Rams lead by 10. Going back on defense, Concepcion matched up with Crisp, underhands it back over to Cornette, spins in the lane, loses the ball, still rolling, under the basket. Cornette picks it back up, wrestles for the shot, and a foul is called on David Tripp. Once again, another foul. David Tripp tied up with Chance Cornette. That's his 3rd foul, and Cornette will shoot 2 foul shots with 1:05 remaining. Everything under the basket in the left to right block in that low post has been called for a foul in these past couple of minutes as Cornette shoots and scores. Makes it 96-87, back down to a 9-point lead with 1:05 left to go in the game. Second shot, nothing but net. 96-88, 1:05 remaining. Likely to be fouls all around here in this last remainder of the game. Taekwon Reed towing down the baseline, swings it over to David Tripp, attacks the rim and fouled by that's Blake Smith. 1 minute Bluefield leads by 8, 96-88 here in the Mid-East Regional Final of the NCCAA. Rams came into today confident after losing to Truett McConnell in an ugly semifinal back a couple of weeks ago in Kingsport, Tennessee, trying to redeem themselves with a win against Alice Lloyd. First shot for David Tripp, back iron miss. And he'll have another shot at it with 1 minute left to go. That's the fourth foul on Smith. David Tripp with no rebounders, shoots and scores there. 97-88. 1 minute remaining. Austin Cripps underhands Cornett, launches from pro length, hits, no foul called. Cornett wanted some sort of foul there, makes it 97-91. Jenkins meandering in the backcourt, underhands it over to Naquan Cousins. Ram lead by 6 now. Taekwon Reed not fouled yet. Chris trying to get a hand in there, and he is tied up with Timmy Dalton. 43.4 seconds left to go. Cornett wanted that foul called badly so he could go to the line to make it possibly a 5-point game. Meanwhile, that's the fourth foul called on Austin Cripps. They had to foul, and Taekwon Reed has to hit these free throws. His team only up by 6. First shot goes true right through the nylon, 98-91. Alice Lloyd very scrappy in the last couple of moments of this second half. Second shot for Reed. Yes. 99-91, 8-point lead for the Rams, so send him to the line, and Taekwon Reed got the job done. Robinson into the game for David Tripp. 40 seconds left to go in the game. Warren going coast to coast, straight in the lane, carries for the layup, no good. Rebound Cousins, underhands Jenkins. Cherry picking Taekwon Reed, going for the dunk, and finishes with 2 hands. That's the century mark for Bluefield, 101-91. Might be the dagger with 30 seconds left to go. Smith straight to the hoop and fouled on the baseline layup. That'll wipe the shot clock out of the equation, and Smith will shoot 2. Well, Bluefield just 27.2 seconds left to go before they can call themselves the NCCAA Mid-East Regional Final Champions. And Alice Lloyd fought so hard in the second half, and Bluefield able to hold on here. First shot falls for Smith, though. Might just be a little bit too late from this team from Pippa Passes, Kentucky. Smith bends the knees, fires, and hits. 101-93. Cousins toes down the baseline, inbounds over to Jenkins, bounces back to Cousins, overheads Reed. Still in the backcourt for Bluefield, crossing the midcourt line. Concepcion skying towards the hoop and hits it on the layup. 103-93. Back to a 10-point lead. Steal falls for Concepcion as he hit the layup. Taekwon Reed there to congratulate him. 105-93. Just 10 seconds left to go. Warren dishes in the corner. Timmy Dalton pump fake, chucking a 3. Air ball. Smith with a stick back with 5.3 seconds left to go. 105-95. Inbounds pass to Reed. He's fouled. And Alice Lloyd thinking for another foul for some reason with just 3 seconds left to go in the game. And that will be it. Rams ready to punch a ticket to Indiana. A hard-fought game. Alice Lloyd scoring their average at 95 points per game. But Bluefield victimizing the defense as Taekwon Reed hits the first free throw. 106-95. Rams scoring across the century mark, and every time they've done that this season, they have won. Last time was against Reinhardt. Taekwon Reed follows through, hits both free throws. 107-95, 12-point lead for the Rams, their largest of the game. Cornett launches at the buzzer. Good. And will they count it? Looked like it was a bit late. Yes, they will. 107-98, so much for winning by double digits. But the Rams are the NCCAA Mid-East Regional Final Champions. They win this one 107-98, and they punch a ticket to Grace College to play for a national championship in Indiana. Well, this is it for me for the basketball season, folks. My name is Bailey Engel, reminding you the final score from the regional final. Rams win it 107-98 here at the Dome.